The most dangerous voice in the ancient world belonged to someone nobody else could hear. It might tell a shepherd where to travel. It might warn a king not to fight. It might demand a sacrifice, identify a murderer, or announce a disease. Today, a person who hears a voice in an empty room may describe it as an auditory hallucination. An ancient listener had a different list of suspects: a god, a ghost, an ancestor, a demon, or a disturbance produced by the body itself. We don't actually know how the earliest humans explained hearing voices. Stone Age people left no case reports. The honest story begins where voices entered writing, in a world where the line between mind and reality looked very different from ours. God sent dreams. The dead stayed socially active. Omens appeared in the stars, in animal organs, in smoke. In Mesopotamia, specialists read divine messages in sheep livers, oil patterns, and dreams. Prophets delivered messages to kings, but palaces didn't obey blindly. Messages were checked, messengers were judged, and political usefulness mattered. Belief did not eliminate skepticism. In Egypt, people wrote letters to their dead relatives, asking for help or accusing them of causing trouble. Oracles turned private claims into public ritual, because a voice heard alone is hard to verify, but an oracle surrounded by priests and tradition becomes organized evidence. In ancient Israel, the boy Samuel hears his name at night and assumes the priest Eli is calling him. 3 times he's wrong, until Eli recognizes the voice as divine. Even sacred texts admit, not every voice was trusted. Prophets could be true or false, and a God told me didn't end an argument, it started one. In Greece, altered states were sorted by which god they belonged to. Prophecy was Apollo's domain. Ecstatic frenzy belonged to Dionysus. At Delphi, the Pythia's authority came not just from her words, but from ritual, place, and centuries of reputation. Socrates described a private divine voice, a daimonion, that warned him away from certain actions, a defense that didn't save him from execution for impiety. But Greek medicine also produced a radical alternative. A Hippocratic writer argued that epilepsy, the so-called sacred disease, was not divine at all, but a disorder of the brain. Supernatural and natural explanations began competing, sometimes inside the very same person. Rome inherited Greek philosophy while keeping elaborate rituals of divination, augurs reading birds, priests consulting sacred texts. Temples sometimes used hidden pipes and concealed speakers to fake divine voices. But fraud doesn't explain every private experience. Humans genuinely do hear voices without a psychiatric diagnosis, around sleep, grief, fever, and extreme stress. The experience was real. What changed across cultures was the explanation. In the 20th century, psychologist Julian Jaynes proposed that ancient people literally heard commands generated by their own brain as the voices of gods, a theory called the bicameral mind. It's a fascinating idea. It is not accepted as established science. Ancient people didn't solve the mystery of hearing voices. Neither have we. They placed it among gods, ghosts, and bodies. We place it among brain networks, memory, and sleep. Their mistake was assuming a vivid voice always needed an invisible speaker. Our mistake might be assuming one modern label explains every voice. For an ancient person, a voice with no visible source didn't ask for a diagnosis. It opened the universe. Anything could be listening. And worse.